Well, what is up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. Oh, Christ. Hey, everyone. I hope you're all doing really well. So what I'm going to do in this video today is we're going to talk about a video that I announced on my Instagram the other day, talking about how I'm now an ambassador for CVP and the workshops that I've been doing for them. The whole thing is just crazy. The whole thing has blown my mind. It's a completely different direction to what I thought I would ever go down, I guess. I never thought I'd actually do workshops and teach people, but it seems to be something that I've been doing a lot more of this year, especially with Sony, going around the country and doing talks with them, to the students, to the uni students basically, about my career and my life and why I like the Sony cameras. What I'm going to talk about today is my workshops for CVP. Now, the first one recently just happened and it was sold out. I think they had about 60 people that signed up to it and 51 people came. People I've never met before, all walks of different life, from professionals to amateurs. Basically, what my workshops were talking about interview setups. So going through lighting, sound, camera settings, camera angles, and then just talking about my opinions within the industry itself. So the day basically started off from me getting the train from Bridgewater to Paddington. We went straight to a coffee shop because I really needed a coffee. And the guys in there were basically asking why I was being filmed, told them why I was there and what was going on, basically making this video. And they gave me a free coffee, which was a fantastic start to the day. So I'm very appreciative of that. Then we went over to the CVP flagship store, and let me tell you, that store was mind-blowing. It had all the latest cameras, the Aries, the Burano, like it was crazy. And it was also very similar to my studio setup. So when we got there and had a little look around, we met up with Izzy and Matteo and Mary. And these are the guys that I've been working with closely with CVP. They basically helped me set everything up ready for the workshop. I didn't know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do, but we ended up going for a certain position with a load of camera lenses and cameras in the background. And then Sean came along from Nanlite and he helped set everything up with the lighting for me. And then I just basically set up the FX6 and the FX3. This was all CVP's gear. None of it was mine other than the microphones. So it took a little bit of tweaking for me to get what I wanted to do. But once we got everything sorted, we were on a roll, and then everyone just basically started coming in. Again, I was eating my lunch at the time and everyone was just coming in, having a little look around. So it was a nice way for people to meet me before the workshop on a sort of non-professional level, I guess. But yeah, then we started the workshop. So the workshops were interview setups for the corporate world and maybe a little bit in the documentary world as well. I spoke about my career. I spoke about where I got to where I am, and I showed the work that I do. I then spoke about all the different lighting setups. And I tried to keep things as basic as possible by doing just sort of like a 3-point, 2-point lighting setup, key light, rim light, maybe lighting up the background. I also showed about using a projector for like a window in golden hour, a little bit like what's behind me right now. And I think that was the main biggest section that people took away, was all the lighting. And I think people do struggle a lot with lighting recently. But on top of that, I then spoke about sound, using a boom mic, which is right above me right now, and then using lav mics as like a backup and where to place it. I then spoke about camera angles, having 2 angles. I don't right now, I only have the one. And then I just spoke about the settings and then just my opinion on things. A lot of people asked questions on like overexposing, underexposing, and loads of other different questions like that, which I feel like I answered really well. And like I said, the feedback was absolutely phenomenal from CVP and from the people that attended. And I just basically spoke from the heart at the end of the day. I think the biggest worry for me with everything was just, I wanted to make sure people took away something. I wanted to make sure people learned something from me, because this whole scenario is very new. I mean, I've only had the business for 5 years now, but I have a hell of a lot of knowledge in my head. And like I said, I had professionals there, and I had hobbyists and other things like that. And the amount of nice messages I had from people towards the end of it, just saying how they're in the corporate world and they learned so much, and people want to work with me and people want to bring me on some of their jobs. And I remember Izzy turning around to me and saying, we're going to give you some feedback towards the end of the day, and I can be quite brutal, is what she said. And I remember finishing the whole workshop and just sort of sitting in the windowsill, and she comes up next to me and I said to her, go on then, hit me with the feedback. And she said, Keith, we have no feedback. Like, you absolutely smashed it. And for me, it just meant so much because I've never done anything like that before. And like I said, the feedback was phenomenal from the people that turned up. And for it to be sold out before we even promoted it was crazy as well. And the next event is actually in May, and that's already sold out as well. So I don't know what's going on this year, but people seem to want to come to my talks and people want to learn from me. And to be honest, I actually struggle speaking in front of the camera, but when I'm in front of other people, I don't seem to struggle. I seem to sort of thrive in that environment, like when it's live. But when I'm in front of the camera, I seem to really screw things up. And as Dan will know, I have to do a lot of takes. And I'm actually winging this right now. I have no script. A couple of the other things that we've been doing, I've been doing it with scripts, but this one I have no script at all, if you can't tell. I just want to be able to give back to people. I want to be able to share my knowledge with people from a sort of like non sort of professional point of view. I'll definitely teach people a lot and up their game effectively. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video about my CVP workshops. And if you could like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, I'm hoping to bring a lot more value to you guys through this channel. And I will speak to you all soon.